Oh my goodness. Stretch. Welcome to Cozy Womb Podcast. This is Cozy Womb Dailies. Monday through Friday, it's me, Shan, mom of the girls, where I talk to you about one topic for about 5 minutes while you get these kids ready. Let's go. All right, y'all. So let's talk about these parenting experts. So the internet is a huge place where people get to share their opinions just like they all have. Boom, boom. I'm not going to say boom, boom because this is a parenting podcast, okay? We're going to keep it clean. So I think parenting experts are cool if it's you're a doctor. Why do they have this rash? Do you know what this rash is? Or you're a psychotherapist or a therapist. Do you know why they feel this way? Can you talk to them and see if they're going to tell you something that they won't tell me? I think that type of expert is cool. But for one person to think that they can tell you solely as a random parent that's not perfect what's wrong with your child and what you need to do because it worked for mine, I think that that's not realistic because every child is different. You know your child's personality better than anybody else. You know what happens with them when they're angry or they're frustrated or they're sad or they're confused or they're doubtful or they need motivation or they need you to back off. You know what levels of your child that requires you to act a certain way. You can't allow society to come into your child's life or face and tell them, this is wrong, you're not being a boy, this is what boys do, you're not being a girl, this is what girls do, just because their kid did it, just because their son did it. Just because your son is tall doesn't automatically mean that your son has to like basketball. If he doesn't like basketball, it's a waste. It doesn't mean that. Maybe your son is tall and he's going to do something else that's great. I hate when people see kids and they're just like, okay, he needs to play baseball. She needs to do this. And she has a pretty face, so she must do modeling. Maybe her personality is not girly. Maybe she doesn't like a lot of attention. Maybe she doesn't want to be looked at. Maybe she doesn't like dressing up. Maybe modeling is not for her. What happened to kids just being kids? There's so many children out here that are trying to be YouTube stars and they're at home playing and making videos with their parents. They grow up and become young people in their 20s and their 30s and they don't have no social skills. They don't know how to relate to people their age because all they've been around is older people. Like, we have to be mindful of how we're taking up space in our kids' lives now versus what are we doing now, or what spaces are we giving them now to explore who they are, what they like, what their personality is. Because I think like a lot of parents are clogging their children's potential. I have to say it like that because that's what it is. Like, imagine your child being really creative, really great, an individual, but you never gave them the space to be fully who they are. And they just, go through their age of like 8 to 13 stifled, 14 to 18 stifled, 20 through 29 stifled, and then 30 is when they want to live their life. 30 is when their parents finally let go and let them be who they are. You're going to wonder why your child is so immature in their 30s. Because you never allowed them to be a kid when they were supposed to be a kid. The Michael Jackson effect. Michael Jackson been working since he was a kid. Okay? Joe Jackson had that boy on the mic. He was great at it. He was talented and he was entertaining. But at the same time, what level of childhood did Michael Jackson have? Are we surprised that this man grew up to be a whole adult that wanted a zoo at his house? A carnival at his house? Are we surprised that he wanted kids around? Like, we have to be aware of the spaces that we're giving our kids to be kids at the age they need to be kids. My thing for my daughters is I want them to be girls, little girls, as long as possible. I don't want them to be like worried about makeup, lashes, even though Ari is. I don't want them to worry about cell phones. I don't want them to worry about money, not having enough money, not being the prettiest, not having the nicest car. You can worry about all of that stuff in your 30s, your 40s, and your 50s. Go outside. Tell your kids to go outside and be kids. And every parent cannot be a parenting expert. I'm not a parenting expert. I'm just telling you from my point of view to have a different point of view or allow space for more options, and that you don't need the world telling you exactly what to do. You have to make a decision based on the personality of your kid. Thanks for listening to Cozy Womb Podcast. Peace.